it is.
I'm not gonna be ready. Oh no.
Hey everybody. How you doing? Deplorable Bobby here. It's 8 p.m. straight up. I try to be punctual. I hope somebody joins me here shortly, but until you do, I'm just going to take my time and let's get some people in the chat. Hopefully some people will be coming in shortly. As for me, there's not been a whole lot going on. I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what's been going on with me. And as a lot of you know, there we go. Craig, glad to see you. And Lee, Red Nation Under God. Thank you, sir, for being here. I was just running my mouth until I got a couple of people in here. So thank you, Dangerous Freedom. So now we have 3. I like to try to hang around for a few minutes and just talk to the people in the chat until we get 10 or so people in here. And hopefully we'll get that count tonight. So far my live streams have done pretty well. Rebel Jack, thank you, my friend. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. All right, now we've got 4. Spirit Talker just made it, so now we have 5. Dangerous Freedom, it was great talking to you earlier. Sorry I didn't get back to you when I had to go, but I'll be calling you probably on Friday when you're off, so be looking for a call. Yeah, that's right, Rebel Jack. Hit that like button. And Craig, it's nice to see you too, brother. Lee, Red Nation Under God. Just wanted to show support, Bobby. Want to play baseball with my son now. Well, I don't know of anything that you should do more than go play baseball with your son. I'll tell you, being a father is one of the greatest things that a person can ever experience. So enjoy yourself. You and your son have a good time. And then go have an ice cream at Dairy Queen or something. Maybe a milkshake. Y'all have fun, brother. Thank you for stopping in, and thank you for hitting the like button. Hurdy-gurdy man, hello, how you doing? Jervis, glad you're here, my friend. 12B, Georgia. Amber, good to see you back again. And Skin Man, or Ski Man, good to see you. Hello to you too. Shonda Graphics, thank you so much for being here. We've got some great people in here. I've got a lot of mods, and somebody called me on that the other day and said I had too many mods. Well, you never know who's going to be busy when you do a live stream. So I've got DM. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. DM is the best mod going on YouTube, along with Fred Knott and Ashley and Jervis and Dangerous Freedom. You guys are fantastic. And always, since my mods are here, History Beat, thank you so much for being here. I hope you got to check that video I did on the Kennesaw line. That was just a little history. And I was thinking of you, actually, when I did that. So good to see you here. Yes, Willman 757 wants to be unmodded. So that'll be taken care of real shortly, okay? I can understand, and it doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. Rebel Jack said, my dad showed me the power of the gun when I was 4. Lesson learned early, stay. And you're right, my dad did the same thing with me. I wasn't 4. I think I was like 8 or 9, and he took us, my brother and I, to go shooting. And we had a .22 and we had a shotgun. So at the age of 9, I learned to shoot a shotgun and a .22. And from then on, I never stopped. I just kept escalating on my gun use, and I've always wanted, to be proficient with my weapons. And thank God, thanks to the military, I am. But Wanda, hello, Wanda. Good to see you. I'm glad you came here from Debbie C. She's a great road channel. Her and Dougie do a great job. She's on live all the time. So check out Debbie C. She's a good lady, and so is Dougie. We still got Jervis, Forbidden Information. Thank you, Michelle. I'm so glad you're here. And Fred Knott, Ancient Drummer. Y'all just keep coming in. I'm so grateful. It's always good to see y'all come in, because I'll be honest with you, before every live stream, and you can ask Spirit Talker, I get really nervous and I'm not freaking out, but yeah, I'm really nervous, and it's not so much what I'm going to say, it's you know who's going to be here, and as of yet, man, y'all haven't let me down, and y'all guys are great. That's all I can say. So I'm going to start. We've got plenty of people in here now. So I just want to start off with my subs. And I want to thank all my subs. Greg Martin, I'm glad you're here. Flat Earth Forums. Thank you, brother. Check out Flat Earth Forums. I'm going to be giving shout outs here in a minute, but check him out. He's a great guy. Georgia Night Rider, glad to see you again. It's always good to see my friends in here. But I want to thank all of y'all for subbing. And I want to thank those who don't sub for the views. I'm not going to call him a troll, I don't guess, but it seems like on all of my last several videos and things, I've got one thumbs down every time, so maybe I have a troll. I don't know. But I'm going to be like American Joe. A thumbs down is a view, so keep on viewing. That's all I can say. Flat Earth Forums, I'm glad you're here. History Beat, Georgia Night Rider, Dangerous Freedom, Wanda, Fred Knott, Linda Carter. How are you, Sue? I'm glad you're here. I want to thank the great douchebag for his kind PayPal donation. Yesterday, the great dirtbag is a fantastic patriot. He supports so many patriot channels, and I'm grateful that I'm one that he supports. So if you see the great dirtbag, give him a big shout out and a big thumbs up because he deserves it. As I said earlier, DM, Ashley, Jervis, Fred Knott, the Spirit Talker, Liberty Smith, Dangerous Freedom, Shonda Graphics. I want to thank you for being mods for me. And I don't expect to have haters in here too often, but y'all know your job. Your job is to throw out URLs of all of these people in here who have content. And remember, Michelle at Forbidden Information and I are partnered, and we're working to go to DC, hopefully in September or October. We're not sure just quite yet. It depends on the funds. So if you'd like to donate, please donate to Michelle or I and our PayPal accounts. And we're going to go to DC, and we're going to try to make a difference. We're going to try to get some good videos to bring you people, and we're going to try to show you how DC works, as well as maybe go to Arlington Cemetery and do a video from there, and maybe the Lincoln Memorial and things like that one day. But most of our time is going to be spent trying to knock on doors and to talk to senators and congressmen and lawmakers who might have a minute to talk to us. But so remember, Michelle at Forbidden Information, feel free to put up her PayPal account. As a matter of fact, I request that you do. And we're in this thing together, Michelle. And as you've often said, we're partners, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to get to DC, and we're going to have fun doing it, but we're going to make a difference at the same time. I want to tell you a little short story about this total idiot. Now, this woman is 23 years old. Her name is Robin Pereira. Now, she's really on the bandwagon for pro-choice. But she rallies against dangerous, underground abortions that women are subject to in the U.S. as a direct result of President Trump's hostile policies on abortion. Did you get that? President Trump's hostile policies on abortion. I don't understand what she's talking about. I've read this article, so I know where it's going, and it blows my mind. This immature pro-choice campaigner has a tattoo engraved on her back to protest Trump's ongoing series of restrictions on abortion. She's blaming Trump for all of the restrictions on abortion that have come up lately, And for somehow he's the demon in all of this. But this 23-year-old knows absolutely nothing about coat hanger abortions. And that's what she's talking about. She's talking about women in the United States who have been pushed so far by Trump's restrictions that they're having to go back to back room and dingy lit room abortions with a coat hanger. So here's what she did. She had a coat hanger tattooed on the back. Can you believe that? She had a coat hanger tattooed on her back. And it says, I've got it written down here. We'll get to it in a minute. This immature pro-choice campaigner has a tattoo engraved on her back to protest Trump's ongoing series of restrictions against abortion. I have a question for you, young lady. Why is the coat hanger on your back? And why is it seldom seen? Why can't you tattoo it on your forehead so everybody you see will see that coat hanger and know that you are in fear of these coat hanger abortions? I mean, it doesn't stop there with your stupidity. I mean, you also have never again tattooed on your shoulder blades. And you said that this was to represent all expectant mothers who say, all expectant mothers who have died because they wanted autonomy for their bodies. Now, I don't know how many people that you know of, young lady, who have died of coat hanger abortions. But I'm going to tell you a little fact. Actually, the truth of the matter is this. 10,500 women died in Asia from unsafe abortion. And when I say unsafe abortion, I'm talking of coat hanger abortions and maybe a few other types of abortion, but they all fall into the unsafe category. So 10,500 a year die in Asia from unsafe abortions. You have 4,200 that die in Africa from the same thing. You have 3,700 that die in Latin America. Well, guess how many women die in America from complications of a coat hang abortion? None. There's not one case where a woman has died from a coat hanger abortion. She said that she cried and she cried when Trump gained power. She said over fear that Roe versus Wade may be overturned nationwide. So she's a typical social justice warrior. She cried along with Hillary Clinton's social justice warriors. This young woman has no details or any facts when she claims that women are forced to have backroom abortions in America. And many of these women die as a result, according to her. She says she will never forget these women and that she hopes to never hear. She says she hopes to never hear the screams of women dying from self-inflicted abortion. Well, now wait a minute. When and where did you hear these screams? Were you in Africa or Asia or Latin America? You weren't in America, young lady. So, just like Pelosi, you can't keep your facts straight. So now, pro-lifers are killing women because we're going to win the fight on the pro-life issues. And the Dems are livid about it. They can't stand it. But we're going to win. And while we pro-lifers strive with all that we have to further our cause and to protect innocent preborns in this country, good always overcomes the evil in the end. And patriots, all we can do is keep praying. And you know, this woman is spreading her lies all across the internet. It's a crying shame that she's allowed to talk about coat hanger abortions in America when those things disappeared many years ago. If a woman wants an abortion these days, believe me, she'll get one, and it won't be with a coat hanger. I promise you that. Crominion, glad you're here. That's right. Holler at Michelle. Florida Jim, I'm glad to see you here. Dangerous Freedom, I'm glad you're still here. Shonda Graphics. Ski Man, I'm glad to see you're still here. Barb and Becky, I'm glad that you're here. And keep hanging out. You're right, DM. Follow Florida Jim. I love Florida Jim. I wish he lived closer. This man gives you great content, but he could put you to laughing at the same time. He always leaves you with a laugh, and he's always got good information. So check out Florida Jim, and also check out Disabled Vet's Perspective. I haven't mentioned him, and Tony Patriot. I haven't seen them in here, but I support all of these Patriot channels, and sometimes it's just hard to get to all of the live streams when you have so many friends. But when you have friends like Spirit Talker, Dangerous Freedom, Jervis, DM, Shonda Graphics, the Hurdy-Gurdy Man, Ski Man, Shonda Graphics again, United We Stand. I'm glad to see you, brother. I haven't seen you yet. Becky and Barb, or Barb and Becky. Flat Earth Forums. You see what I'm saying, people? We're a family. And it warms my heart to see you here. But you know, we need to talk a little bit about the demon rats and Trump's wall. Because, believe it or not, the Supreme Court actually did something. Imagine that. They actually did something pro-Trump. I couldn't believe it. When I saw this, I thought, this can't be right. This has to be some kind of scam story that the demon rats are throwing out there. But the amazing Justino, glad you're here. Tony Patriot, so good you're here, brother. I've already given you a shout out. But if you don't know Tony Patriot, grab him up. He's a great guy. But Friday, just last Friday, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of President Trump, diverting $2.5 billion in Pentagon funds to the southern border wall. Now, of course, the Dems are up in arms because President Trump has won again. They can't stand it when President Trump wins. But he keeps on winning, and he keeps on winning. And together, we're all going to keep on winning. Come on, people. It's getting close to 2020. It's time to start talking Trump up. We know that he doesn't have a competitor on the Republican side of the aisle, and he really has no competitors on the Democrat side of the aisle. But we need to start talking up President Trump. It's time to start hollering Trump 2024, in my opinion. I mean, President Trump is going to save this nation, and he's already done a lot. And I'm thinking that a lot of the things that he didn't get to in the first 2 years, he's going to get to in the next 2. Well, that didn't happen either. Of course, we still have a year left. But I think it's going to be after the 2020 elections that we start to see people starting to fall and heads rolling. And a lot of this is going to come because of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein has a lot of dirt on a lot of people, and he's going to do everything that he can to save his own butt. And you know he will. That's what these demon rat pedophiles do, is cover their own butt. But he got caught. So now he's going to be dropping dimes on everybody to try to get a lighter sentence. Florida Jim, I'm glad you're here, my brother. But the Supreme Court ruling allowed President Trump to begin work to replace fencing along the southern border of California, Arizona, Dangerous Freedom for you, and New Mexico. Well, President Trump tweeted, wow, big victory on the wall. The USCG overturned lower court injunction that allows the southern border wall to proceed. He said it's a big win for border security and the rule of law. And I talked to you a lot about the rule of law, and the demon rats don't know what the rule of law is. So one dirty, rotten imbecile. I am so glad you're here. Disabled Vet's Perspective, I just gave you a shout out. Glad you're here, Alex. You guys are fantastic for showing up. Thanks for your support. Of course, the Dems criticized the logic. You know, the Supreme Court ruling and Trump's plan to earmark funds in an effort to come through on his signature campaign promise. and that was build a wall. Well, Dems say it's all a waste of money, and it will not slow the flow of immigration. They don't want the slow of immigration. They want immigration to continue. That's their voter base. Everyone that comes across of age is another vote for the demon rats. Itching to scratch UK. Thank you for staying up late, because I know it's about 6 hours difference between here and there, so it's getting late for you. Glad to see you make the trip, though. Poor conservative. Glad you're here. I haven't seen you in here before, I don't think. Maybe I have. I see so many people like United We Stand and one dirty, rotten imbecile. I meet you people, and that's the way I get to know you, is when you come into my chat and when I go to your videos and your streams and make myself known. That's how you get to know people. And slowly by surely, I'm getting to know more and more. So I'm grateful to all of you for being here. You know, Pelosi continued this evening saying the Supreme Court's ruling allowing President Trump to steal military funds to spend on a wasteful, ineffective border wall rejected by Congress is deeply flawed. Well, the flaw comes when you opened your mouth and you said allowing President Trump to steal military funds. Well, you just said that the Supreme Court ruling allowed that. So how can he be stealing money if the Supreme Court gave him permission? So there again, Skeletor Pelosi, you have proven that you are an idiot. You do not know what you're talking about. She says, oh, get this. She's going to jump on our forefathers now. She's going to start talking about the beginning of our country. Our forefathers designed a democracy governed by the people, not a democracy. Well, Pelosi, once again, I'm going to take you to school. First of all, we are not a democracy, and my papers are blowing everywhere, but we are not a democracy, Skeletor Pelosi. We are a republic. We are a republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's something that you don't understand. Somewhere in your Democrat playbook, you lost all of that. You're no longer an American, as I'll show as we go on if I get to it. But I'm going to take a quick moment to look in here. Rena Thomas. Ski Man, glad you're still here. Michelle, Forbidden Information. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Crow Minion, The Poor Conservative. Dangerous Freedom. Jervis, Cherry, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. I've been missing you a lot. I know you're busy, but I'm glad you made the trip to get here. Jervis, thank you so much for throwing up these people's URLs. They deserve it. They have good channels. I'm not a Grow channel, but I support every patriot who supports me and the Patriot family. I'm going to butcher this guy's name, so I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to tell you he's a representative from Arizona. So Dangerous Freedom, here it is. This guy, his name is Rual something. But anyway, he runs a district along the U.S. southern Mexico border, and he's called President Trump's emergency declaration, get this people, a pathetic attempt to circumvent Congress and build his monument to his racist policies. They can't go a single day without calling Trump a racist, a bigot, a misogynist. So evidently he's still doing something right, because he's still ticking off a lot of Democrats. But see, they have it so wrong in their twisted minds. It was the Supreme Court that gave him the money. But they refused to see that. The House Speaker, Skeletor Pelosi, called the ruling flawed. So now the Supreme Court is flawed. Now, at first it was just Trump that was flawed, and the Supreme Court was the greatest court in the land as long as they were putting down pro-life cases as long as they were putting down corruption cases, as long as they were sending all this stuff back to the lower courts for these demon rats so that good conservative policies couldn't go into effect because they filed a simple lawsuit. So all of a sudden the Supreme Court does something that's not exactly what they're used to, and they don't know what to do. So now the Supreme Court is flawed. Something that once was the greatest institution in America, according to her, is now flawed because it sided with President Trump. You know, the Supreme Court isn't flawed if their rulings go in favor of the demon rats. And then the Supreme Court is a great institution, and you know as well as I do that's nothing new. It's been that way for years and years, and it's never going to change. But Pelosi, who can't keep her mouth shut, kept on. This evening, the Supreme Court ruling allowing President Trump to steal military funds to spend on a wasteful, ineffective border wall is ludicrous, and it's also a lie. Now I've got to throw away this paper because I'm done. I want to talk to you for just a minute about a couple of more demon rats, and then I'm going to try to get off of this subject. But they're so busy making themselves idiots that sometimes you just have to put it out there. Well, Senator Kamala, I slept my way to the top, Harris, said this: Congress did not appropriate these funds for Trump's medieval vanity project. So now Trump's wall is a medieval vanity project. And that's going to come back here in a few minutes, so remember that, a vanity project. And let's be clear, she said Trump's wall, not America's wall, but Trump's wall, has never been about keeping America safe. Kamala, it's not just Trump's wall, it's America's wall, and it will be built. So just get it through your head, it will be built. Because President Trump and his administration are fighting every day to protect America, while you Dems want America's downfall. And that's all you want. You want to destroy America as we know it. You want to destroy a God-fearing country and turn it into some kind of socialist Muslim state. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can be a socialist and a Muslim. I don't even know if that's possible. But that's what you're trying to do, is turn us into a third world country. And it's not going to happen. We won't stand for it. Oh yeah, you got to hear this, guys. I guess this proves that the demon rats are given talking points. I want to know who's giving these people the talking points, because Corey, meet me in the bathroom booker, he said, diverting military funds for a vanity project. Hear that? He also called it a vanity project. The same words as Kamala, I slept my way to the top, Harris. So, who's giving these people these talking points? That proves to you right there that these people, they don't even write what they're saying. They get their talking points. I don't know, who is it from? Hillary? Soros? Somebody else in the Demon Rat Party? I don't know. See here. Hi, Debbie Jervis said. Did I miss Debbie? Oh, Debbie Corkle. How are you doing, Debbie? She is also known as Spirit Dancer. That's Spirit Talker's wife. And she happens to be my second cousin. So, glad you made it, Debbie. Glad you're here. United we stand. Dangerous Freedom. Willman, glad you're still here. Shonda Graphics. Cherry, I'm glad you're here. Beyond Trees, thank you for being here, brother. First time I've seen you in the chat tonight. Thank you for being here. And see, people, that's what happens when you reach out to these other people and you try to get to know them. You get people in your chat that you've only met a time or two. But this is the place along with Tony Patriot, Forbidden Information, Disabled Vest Perspective, Florida Jim, DM, and History Beat. On Saturday nights, they have, at 9 p.m., they have a show, live stream. You got to check them out. People like Nice Armory. He comes on it was this morning, on Sunday morning he was there. You can catch him. There's a lot of people out there. Debbie C, as I mentioned before, she's a great channel. Check her out. But you know, of course, the Demon Rats and the ACLU, they plan to sue to keep Trump from using the funds for the wall that Congress denied, but the Supreme Court gave him. So, if the Supreme Court gave him the approval, who are these Demon Rats going to file their case with against the Supreme Court? Kimberly Frankenberry. I don't know what you thought was a vacuum hose, but I'm glad you're here, Kimberly. Thank you for being here. The Demon Rats say we deserve a president with a common sense. Well, people, I don't know of anybody that we've had as president, my Lord, since Reagan, who has had common sense. The Bushes didn't have common sense. Look where they got us. And then Clinton, of course, he was too busy doing his cigar deal that he never did anything. And then, of course, you had Barack Hussein, the Muslim Obama, who did nothing but try to perpetrate the downfall of America in every way that he could. I mean, he corrupted just about every facet of our government. He was there for 8 years. And you know, to tell you a short story, my mother is now 87, so I guess when Obama was elected the second time, she was probably in her early to mid-80s. And we were sitting there watching the election, as we do every year. And as we saw that he was definitely going to be the next president again, and she knows that I'm a gun guy, so she looked over at me and she said, Bobby, she said, I've never shot a gun in my life. But if you'll aim it, I'll pull the trigger on this son of a bitch. And Mom don't cuss. And then she started to cry. And people, I'm going to tell you, all of America should have started to cry that night. Obama should have never been president, but that's not where I'm going with this talk. I'm not going there, but I get talking about him and that demon rat killery rotten Clinton, and sometimes I just get off my script and I just go off somewhere else. So maybe that's what you like about me. I don't know, but I do it, so get used to it. But you know, we're going to build that wall no matter what these demon rats say. And it's going to be built high and it's going to be built long. I told Dangerous Freedom the other day, I said, I hope they build that wall all the way across the south, and when they hit California, turn due north. Build it all the way to Canada. Wall off Washington State, Oregon, and California all at the same time, because they're all the same. If you'll remember, Portland is the city, and Portland belongs to the state who support a terrorist group, a domestic terrorist group called Antifa. So if they support Antifa, we don't. We need to put a wall around New York and maybe Connecticut and Vermont and a few of them other states up that way, Maine, because they're all about having MS-13 in their towns. So you see, people, it's the demon rats that want this violence on the streets. They don't want you to be safe in your homes anymore. You know, when I was a kid, and I'm an old man, I know, I say that all the time, but I remember the front door and the back door being unlocked and open because in the summertime it was hot. We didn't have air conditioning. We kept the front doors open. Of course, we had screen doors. We raised the windows at night, and we had fans going, you know, because it was hot. It was 90 degrees in your bed. But yet we slept in that kind of stuff, and we got used to it. People today are such wimps. They don't know how to live. And I'm afraid that's where America's going to go again if we don't stop these demon rats from destroying our country with Antifa and all of these other, I'm not down in a race of people, but Black Lives Matter. I'm going to tell you, Blue Lives Matter. All lives matter. When you start singling out a single group of people to be special, well, that's when the racism starts. And it's not the people like you and me that are the racist. It's those accusing us of being racist who are the racist. And it's plain and simple. They accuse us of being fascist. They are the fascists. They accuse us of all kinds of things. But yet they're the ones who are the guilty party in all of this. How many people have you seen protesting who is a patriot that have carried batons and bats and caustic chemicals to throw in people's faces? How many times have you seen patriots carrying flags, beating up people? You haven't. That's because we're a kind and generous and God-loving country. But I'm telling you, the patriots are getting pissed off. And there's going to be a clash one day. And when it happens, I'm going to tell you people, it ain't going to be pretty. Dangerous Freedom will tell you that. It ain't going to be pretty. Because one day, they're going to bark up the wrong tree, and the tree's going to fall on them. And when it does, that's when we'll start hearing about it in the courts. Because they're going to go against that patriot that stood his ground and whooped some butt. So now he's going to be prosecuted. We're going to cover that. But we're not going to cover Antifa beating up old men, beating up journalists. We're not going to cover that. Because they're protected by the demon rats. I want to jump over to Epstein for just a minute. I don't have too much on him. But federal prosecutors in New York overseeing the case against Epstein are handing down highly sensitive investigative materials. These materials are going to Epstein's attorneys. After the judge appointed the government's request to place a protective order on the documents. And the government requested this because prosecutors want to protect future cases that may be charged against people named who are nothing but the elite. So they're going to redact Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, Prince Andrew, probably the Podestas, and a whole lot of other people. They're going to redact these names because they don't want to put their names out there until they're arrested and charged and being prosecuted. So I go along with that. Redact all the names. I don't care. But let's just be sure that before all the dust settles, that we see some elite heads roll down the hill. Let's see Trump use Gitmo for what he said it was there for, which are elite prisoners. So it's about time we started putting some high-profile prisoners in Gitmo. And the sooner the better. Prosecutors sought the order because they intend to produce the documents, like I said, that have a lot of high-profile names, and they don't want to screw up a case against these high-profile people. So maybe heads are going to start to roll. Maybe more heads are on the chopping block than we know of. And as this case continues, hopefully we'll see those heads roll. But, oh, there it is. I hate these new papers I got. I got a tablet, and that thing, the papers stick together, and they're so hard to get apart. I even have them dog-eared, and they're hard to get apart. But I want to talk a little bit about Ilhan Omar. Well, Ilhan Omar just can't stay out of the news, it seems, lately. Now this terrorist Muslim is all about free abortions for illegal immigrants at taxpayers' expense. So now she's all about giving abortions to immigrants, and we pay for it. Now, that sounds great. That sounds like Medicare for all to me. But yet it goes further. She said no one should fear receiving medical care because they are undocumented. We must ensure that all people in our country, she said. I got news for you, Ilhan Omar. This is not your country. This is our country. You need to go back to Somalia, just like Trump said. You know, and I'd give a $2 bill if somehow she'd run across this video and she could hear my words. I would love to have a 60-second debate with her because I would tear her up. Mainly because I wouldn't let her get a word in edgewise. She favors abortion coverage and health care regardless of income or insurance. And she also wants to repeal the Hyde Amendment. And we all know the Hyde Amendment has been around for years and years, and it simply says that we can't use federal funds to fund abortions. Plain and simple. But she wants to repeal that. And so do all the demon rats. Come on, patriots. Remember this. Remember, Omar came here with her family at the age of 9. And I'm going to tell you something you may not even know. She came in with her family under an assumed name. They didn't even come in under their own name. I had the name written down, but it was one of these blah, 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 Mayahi kind of names, so I can't pronounce it. So anyway, she came across with her family at the age of 9 from Somalia under an assumed name. So she came across and got asylum under an assumed name. So she came here illegally. She shouldn't be here. And this is proof. It's proven. She came here under an assumed name of Omar. She needs to be deported, along with her siblings. Oh, but wait, we have to talk about her sibling. She married her brother so he could come here. Do you believe that, people? She married her own brother and then brought him to the United States because when they came over when she was a child, he didn't come for some reason. So she married her brother to give him asylum in America. Now, isn't that a hoot? I memean, I used to hear jokes all the time about people from Alabama, you know, being inbred and all that kind of stuff. And, well, my mama's from Alabama, and she'd shoot me if she heard me say that right there. But, yeah, it's old jokes, and it's not true. But in her case, maybe it is true. So, just wanted you to remember, she married her own brother and brought him over here. And I want you to remember, as the light gets dimmer, remember that Islam is the religion of death for Christians and any other non-Muslims. The Quran is a guide of death and killing. Abortion is all about death and killing. So it fits perfectly into Omar's plan of destruction for America, along with AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Annie Ann Presley, the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse that I like to call them. Because these women are evil. They want the downfall of America, even more than Pelosi and Schumer and Schiff, even. Can you believe that? I want to tell you about a lady, and this is funny, people. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but this is going to make you laugh, and it's going to piss you off at the same time. We got this woman out in Minnesota. Her name is Danielle Stella. Well, this woman's going to go up against Omar. She's going to defeat Omar. She's a Republican. All right? But now, let me tell you what these people did. Hey, Manny, how you doing? Glad you're here. Thank y'all for hanging around. Dangerous Freedom, DM, Warhorse, Good to see you, Warhorse. I'm glad you're here. Crow Minion, Tam J, I love to see you. Rebel Jack, Cherry, One Dirty Rotten Imbecile. Man, I love your name. Spirit Talker, thank you for being here. Katrina Stafford, thank you all for being here. So I want to tell you, this guy, actually it's a lady, but might as well be a guy when you hear this story. Danielle Stella. She's the best person that Minnesota can find to run against Ilhan Omar on a Republican ticket. It's a literal joke to think that Danielle Stella could win as dog catcher. It's funny, or maybe it's even weird. I don't think that she could win as dog catcher. Because let me tell you what this woman is all about. I think maybe she's a plant. I think maybe the Democrats put her in there because this woman is a lunatic. 31-year-old Danielle Stella, a Republican and Trump supporter, was arrested twice this year for stealing 279 items from a Target store. So the woman's a shoplifter, and not a very good one, evidently, because she got caught and was arrested twice. She says she's innocent until proven guilty. Well, let me ask you this. How many people who are innocent say the words guilty? The word never comes out of your mouth. If you're innocent, you never say guilty no matter what you're talking about. You never want to say the word guilty because as soon as you say the word guilty, that means you are. So, she said she was innocent until proven guilty. No, I'm innocent, people. If I did it, I'm innocent. No matter what you say, I'm innocent. I'll say I'm innocent all the way to jail. I'll say it all the way through court. I'll say it all the way to prison. And while I'm in prison, I'll still say I'm innocent. I'll never say the word guilty. So this woman, that shows you one thing. This woman's not got it all together. We get this. She told police, after she was arrested, of course, that she remembers arriving at the Target store to purchase items. But nothing else. That's the only reason she went there. She went to buy things. And she said, but due to her PSD, her post-traumatic stress syndrome, she normally goes to Target or anywhere else with someone because of her anxiety around people. So now wait a minute. This woman is wanting to run as our Republican representative against Ilhan Omar in Minnesota. This woman is a thief. She's got her felony record. And she doesn't even know what she's talking about. I mean, and this is what we have. I mean, she has such anxiety that she can't go out in public without someone to babysit her. How in the world is she going to go to Congress? I mean, there's a big room. If you've ever been to Congress before or ever seen it on TV, that's a big old room and it's got a lot of people in there. This woman's going to have some Thorazine or something, you know, to calm her down. Maybe have a doctor right there beside of her. No, I don't know where this woman came from, but I'm going to tell you, people, as a patriot, she does not belong running on a Republican ticket trying to say she's a conservative. We don't want her. We don't want her kind. I mean, if you're that big of an idiot, if you do that kind of stuff, if you're that mentally sick that you need a babysitter, you need to either join the demon rats, because they all need babysitters, and they all need psychiatrists. So why don't you just join them and leave the Republican Party alone, because we don't need people like you. And that's the truth. We don't need people like you in our government. When I look back over here for a second, Becky Taylor, I'm glad you said that for me because I always screw that up. What is it, PTSD? Yeah, thank you, because I always screw that up. Alfred Phillips, good you're here. I'm glad to see you. Cherry, I'm glad you're still here. Ski Man, Tam J, Alfred Phillips, Crow Minion, once again, Florida Jim. Debbie Corkle, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're talking to people in the chat. Get to know people. People in here are good. Becky's a good girl. Shonda's good. DM's great. Tam J's great. Everybody in here. I can't say one bad thing about anybody here. And those that have content have some good content. So just follow Disabled Vets Perspective, just like DM said. And they're going to keep on throwing up that stuff. MCP Gamer. Man, I'm glad you made it. Okay, Squad Chick. There's another one. There's two right there that I haven't seen in here before. So you see people going out and getting on other people's networks and talking to people. You don't have to network and say, I subbed you and I got you and all this stuff. All you have to do is go there. Show yourself. Entertain yourself in the chat. Talk to the host. And people will get to know you. And one by one, your subscribers will come. And I thank all of you. So that's all I'm going to say about that so-called Republican that's trying to run against Omar. People, tell me what you think. Why in the world would the Republicans put something like that out there unless it was a demon rat plan? I mean, they couldn't have found a sicker person to go against Omar than if they'd got somebody's monkey from the zoo. I mean, a monkey would have a better rap sheet than she's got. But anyway, not worrying about that. But I want to talk about something real quick, and I want to, before I get started, I'm not talking bad about anybody. I got a lot more left that I'm not going to get to, so I'll probably do a video tomorrow to cover some of that stuff. But I want to talk to you real quick. And before I get started, I'm not here to make anybody angry. I am not saying anything about the people of the Catholic Church. I have no problem. I have a lot of friends that are Catholic. But I do have somewhat of a problem with the Catholic hierarchy, and I'm just going to go over this right quick. I've spoken many times about the Catholic religion, and true enough, I have. I have somewhat against the Catholic leadership of the church. But I do stand with the church on abortion. But despite the Catholic teaching defending the unborn and standing against abortion, as the Catholic religion, the Pope, and all of the priests tell us, abortion is bad, they stand against abortion. Abortion is evil and of Satan. The Catholic Church and the Pope stand against abortion. But despite Catholic teachings, we have people in our Congress who are pro-abortion. And yet, they claim to be Catholics. And as I said, I'm not talking about the Catholic people. I'm talking about these people in our government who claim to be Catholic. They claim to be in good standing with the church. But yet, they preach abortion, abortion, abortion. How can it be? How can you be a member of the Catholic Church who stands against abortion at all cost? If anything, the abortion issue is one stance that I feel in my heart that Pope Francis would never go against. That is probably the thing that is most near and dear to his heart and to Catholic people. I've known that all of my life. So, Catholicism is a doctrine. And that doctrine teaches, just like the Pope, that abortion is wrong. So how can we have Nancy Pelosi? She's the best one to call on right now. There's a lot more in there, but I've lost where I was at on my papers, so I can't really get to them right now. And it's probably a good thing because I'm winding down. I've got about 6 minutes left. And I'm going to tell you, people, I appreciate you being here, but we've got to stand against these demon rats on these abortion issues. They're claiming to be Catholic, but yet they're abortion, abortion, abortion every single time. They're trying to give people free abortions. How? How long are we going to have to listen to this stuff? I'm hoping that sometime in the near future, these demon rats that are running for president, I hope that they start opening their mouths. I think there's a debate starting one on July 30th and maybe another one on the 31st. So maybe we'll get some substance out of these demon rats this time, and maybe they'll start calling each other out. And that's what needs to happen, because I guarantee you, when it's Trump's turn to call them out, he's going to call them out, and there's going to be nowhere for them to hide. They're going to be running for cover, just like Hillary and that lock her up chant. We're still chanting lock her up. When is that going to happen? I don't know. I pray that this Epstein case maybe will be the firecracker that lights it all off. I'm hoping there'll be a bunch of booms as we go through the next few months. But people, I'm going to hang around for a minute. I'm going to call out a few people. History B and DM. Remember them on Saturday night at 9 p.m. Check them out. History B's a teacher, and DM is really savvy on a lot of stuff. So check them out. They have a really great banner back and forth, and it's a good show. You'll get good information, and you might even get a giggle. So Fred Knott, thank you, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Becky Taylor, Florida Jim. Dangerous Freedom, my brother. It's so good to talk to you. And Florida Jim, we need to call. Either I'm going to call you or you call me soon. I need to talk to you. But Katrina Stafford, glad you're here. And let's see, Katrina Stafford, Warhorse, and Kimberly Frankenberry. That's a good name. I like that. And History B says, thank you, Bobby. And you don't have to ever thank me, History B. I'm grateful. Tony Patriot. Man, I want you to know I love you, brother. Check him out on Thursday nights. A lot of times. Hello, Sue Eason. Glad to see you. I want to give you a shout out. But check out Tony Patriot on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. There's several times through the week he may hit you with a live stream about something. He did one the other day on cranes. And, I thought that was pretty good. So anyway, sometimes you just have to throw stuff out there trying to get some watch time. That's why I've started not only doing my live streams. As you know, I used to do a live stream every day. And I'll tell you, doing about 300 live streams in a row about burned me out. So I started doing, I don't mean live streams, people, I mean videos. And since I've started doing live streams, I find myself with free time. So now I find myself doing live streams and continuing to do a few videos. So I'm going to try to get out here as much as I can. I need all the watchtowers I can get. We need to get to, what is it, Spirit Talker? 4,000 watchtowers?
4,000.
And I'm a long way from that. I've got my 1,000 subscribers, thanks to Tony Patriot and Debbie C and all of you who have subscribed. So we got to get those watchtowers up. American Patriots Channel. Is that the name, Spirit Talker?
American Patriot Channel, yes, sir.
American Patriot Channel. He streams forbidden information and my stuff. And that's what I want to talk to you about, Florida Jim. Maybe getting your permission to put your some of your videos out there that'll be streamed. And he isn't going 24 hours yet, but Spirit Talker's got this channel, and he's streaming We Patriots live. So if you want to be a part of that, contact Spirit Talker. He's in the chat. Feel free to look him up or contact me, and we'll get you connected. But that's American's Patriot Channel. It's slow progress, and it's a work in progress. So don't go there and expect to see, bells and whistles and flowers. It's just going to be good, simple truth from God-loving American patriots. Eventually, it'll have more content on there and stuff for you to look at. Spirit Talker, he has a book he's written, actually, and if you want to check out his book, let him know or let me know, and we can get you his book. But he has a book of poems, and he has a lot of great sayings. You ought to check him out. So remember, Spirit Talker, fret not. Let's say you're laughing at Ron. What was he talking about? He said, I just got mashed Fossics, so I might be scared. I'm not sure what he's talking about. Is he talking about sour mash? I don't know. I don't know what. Oh, he got the mash box set. I got you. Okay. Yeah, he may be gone for a while, people. DM, I'm so glad you came here. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. Go cook dinner. Have a good night. It's 9 p.m., so I'm fixing to sign off. Shonda Graphics, Dangerous Freedom, History V, Jervis, Skillman, Crominion, Tam J, Fred Knopp. Always remember, DM and History V on Saturday nights. Check me out on Sunday nights, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, 8 o'clock. Sunday nights before I come on at 7. Disabled Vets Perspective will be there at 7 p.m. Check him out. Remember, Michelle, Forbidden Information. She comes on live around 10 p.m. And I'm an old man, and I get up at 4 or 5 every morning, so sometimes 10 p.m. is a little late for me. But if you're up, check out Forbidden Information, and don't forget Florida Jim. Florida Jim's got good information, and he'll give you a chuckle as well. Fred Knott, everybody, I thank you. I love you for being here. I hope to see you next time. This is Deplorable Bobby, and I'll see you Wednesday night, if not before. Talk to you later. Have a good night.